Coliseum in Nashville. And out onto the surface come the Tennessee Titans, trying to remain on top in the AFC South as they get ready to take on the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark, welcome to Nashville. Two hot teams that each experienced a 4-game losing streak earlier this season, but New England's rebounded to win 5 of 6. Tennessee, meanwhile, has won 7 of 8, and that one loss was a 1-point loss to Baltimore. So two teams with a mark of 8 and 5 in a wild AFC where no team has clinched a playoff berth. Each of these teams has a chance to wind up as the #1 seed with home field throughout, or could be out of the playoffs. The winner takes a big step forward tonight. John, first, New England. We met with them last night. Very confident team, and why not? Tom Brady tied for the league lead in touchdown passes with 26. They think they're primed.
Well, and he's playing with so much confidence, and the whole team is playing with confidence, and rightly so, because they've earned it. If you look now, they're 8 and 5, and they could say, a year ago, we were 8 and 5. We won out. We won the Super Bowl. And that's the type of confidence that they're playing with. That's the type of confidence that Tom Brady has, and you just watch him. He's a leader of this team now. I mean, he does these things. They're not a real running team anymore. They're a Tom Brady passing team. They like to spread you out and get rid of the ball quickly. Troy Brown will be big.
His opposite number, Steve McNair, I think at this point may be the most underappreciated great player in the NFL.
Yeah, and for some reason, when you talk about the great quarterbacks in the league, you don't talk about Steve McNair, but he is one of them. And he is also a very tough guy. He has bad ribs. He has a bad toe. He hasn't practiced. He doesn't practice all week. Comes out here and plays the game. But not only does he play the game, he takes the whole offense on his shoulder. This is an amazing guy. But this is going to be a physical game. You know, that's what Jeff Fisher said last night. He said, we play physical, they play physical, and that's what this one's going to be all about.
Tough game, good game, great matchup, two hot teams. We hope it's a tight game, and maybe a little bit of magic as well tonight on Monday Night Football. Tonight's Air Stats are brought to you by FedEx.
Big game tonight, boys and girls, and Penn and Teller are here to tell you why we are rooting for the Tennessee Titans. First of all, they're going to win the Super Bowl. We magicians know things like that a little early, which is kind of a nice perk. Secondly, they're the attractive women. I mean, down south, they have guts. What? You gotta be kidding, right? You are not rooting for the Pats. Dude, come on. I'm from New England, and even I'm not rooting for them. We're rooting for Tennessee because of the women. Down south, it's so... Oh, you're going for New England because they have the magic. Well, their magic is just like this magic. It's just smoke. Oh, the tuck rule, huh? Well, that wasn't magic. That was bureaucracy defying the laws of physics. You want real magic? How about the Music City Miracle?
He cannot!
Okay, so they came up 1 yard short in the Super Bowl. Big deal. You got two 8 and 5 teams smelling the playoffs. Those Tennessee boys, they are hungry. And I know for a fact that the hungry guy always wins. Oh, tap my stomach. Mr. Mime just did a fat joke. You got something to say? Say it, huh? Oh, what's wrong? Cat cut your tongue? Huh? Is a cat? If you pull a cat out of that hat, I will throttle you. Okay, come on. So Marcel wants his career back. Come on, Silent Bob, spit it out.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Okay, all set for what should be a real good one as the 15th week of the NFL season climaxes. New England 8 and 5, Tennessee with a mark of 8 and 5. And what else is new? Eddie George makes another start. Hasn't missed one since he came here in 1996. And the great Titans running back is with Melissa Stark. Hi, Melissa.
Well, the Titans got off to a slow start this year, 1-4, but you had a dramatic turnaround, Eddie. Won 7 of the last 8 games. What sparked the turnaround?
But basically, we just had to settle down and trust each other. You know, we had the talent. We had to believe that. We just weren't doing things correctly. So we just had to settle down, believe in each other, trust each other, and just go from there. Just stop making mental mistakes.
You had have the defending Super Bowl champs in town tonight. This game has huge playoff implications for both teams. What do you need to do to get your team a win tonight?
Do my job. Just get tough yards, keep the chains moving, keep the offense off the field, and score touchdowns.
Eddie, have a great night. All right, well, a couple of injury notes. The Titans get defensive end Javon Curse back. He has been out since the season opener with a broken bone in his left foot. And the Patriots are without wide receiver Deon Branch. He's got a leg injury. And Teddy Bruschi, linebacker Teddy Bruschi, misses his second straight game with a knee injury out.
And Ted Johnson will take his spot in Bill Belichick's complex and extremely efficient defense in his third year as the Pats head coach. Jeff Fisher took over when they were the Houston Oilers, and Jack Pardee was fired in '94, so he's been the only coach since the team moved here. Adam Vinatieri, Super Bowl hero, to kick off for the Patriots on a beautiful night. Temperature in the mid-50s. Justin McCarrans and John Simon. Simon, a rookie from Louisiana Tech, back to receive. And here we go from the capital of Tennessee as John Simon brings it back from the 9 to the 24-yard line, and we'll check in and meet the Tennessee offense.
Steve McNair, Alcorn. Eddie George, D, Ohio State University. Derek Mason, Michigan State University. Drew Bennett, UCLA. Frank Wycheck, University of Maryland. Aaron Kinney, University of Florida. Brad Hopkins, University of Illinois. Tom Ackerman, Eastern Washington.
Gennaro DiNapoli, Virginia Tech.
Benji Olson, Washington.
Fred Miller, Baylor University.
And the key guy up front tonight will be Tom Ackerman, 67. Zach Pillar injured, inactive tonight. It's the first change they've made along the offensive front this season as a starter. McNair to throw. Good protection. Then takes off. And that's what he does so well so often. Stopped by Tabucky Jones after a gain of 7.
One of the things that Jeff Fisher has been saying all week, if the Titans are going to be successful, Steve McNair has to run for about 60 to 70 yards. And it's these types of things. He's not always going to have the guy open. He's not always going to have great pass protection. But when it breaks down, he can do this. And I'll tell you, the Patriots are well aware of that because Bill Belichick said when he does that, we have to take away his cutback.
He's averaging 5.1 yards per rush. He got 7 there. And now they give the ball to Eddie George and nothing in the middle. So it's going to be 3rd and short. And let's take a look at the New England starting defensive 11.
Willie McGinnis, Southern Cal.
Bobby Hamilton, Southern Miss.
Richard Seymour, Georgia Bulldog. Anthony Pleasant, Tennessee State.
Mike Vrabel, Ohio State.
Ted Johnson, Colorado.
Roman Pfeiffer, UCLA.
Ty Law, Michigan.
Lawyer Malloy, Washington.
Tabucky Jones, Syracuse.
OTIS, Missouri.
OTIS at the age of 37. Robert Holcomb is now in the game. Number 32 is the running back here on 3rd down and 35. And Holcomb, the former Ram, seeing spot duty, and that's pretty good spot duty. They take Eddie George out on 3rd and short a lot, bring in Holcomb, and he goes 39 yards here for a first down.
You know, the interesting thing about this run to Holcomb, Al, is the Patriots game, they had 7 defensive backs. They had their pass defense in there, and what they're trying to do is show them different pass looks. And I think the way to get them out of that 7 defensive backs is to do something like this, run right at it. 39 yards, and that's the longest rush of the year for the Tennessee Titans. Eddie George's long is 35. First down at the 29. George. Eddie averaging just 3.3 yards per carry. The league average is almost a full yard more. So it's been tough for Eddie to really get on track. And he usually comes out on those 3rd down situations, and that's when Robert Holcomb comes in. And you know, that was a smart play because the way, anytime you go 7 defensive backs, that means that you're taking out linebackers and defensive linemen. And I think the way to get them out of that defense is run the ball, run them out of that defense. And now the Titans spread the defense. 2nd down and 8 with nobody in the backfield but McNair, who throws out of the gun and incomplete. Intended for Drew Bennett. We'll see a lot of action tonight with Justin McCarrans
Kevin Dyson is gone for the season. He'd be their number 1 wideout, but now on injured reserve.
Steve McNair is really something. You know, he likes that. You know, when he first came here, for some reason, he comes out of Alcorn. He's the number 1 draft choice of the Titans or the Oilers, and they kind of had a running game. It was Eddie George running. It was a defense. It was toughness. But Steve McNair is really a passer, and he loves to spread them out like they're doing right now. He said at Alcorn, his whole offense is 4 wide receivers, and this is what he feels the most comfortable doing.
3rd down and 8. Patriots showing blitz, and here they come. Great pickup in the backfield, but then the pass is incomplete. Robert Holcomb threw a block enabling McNair to throw, but the pass was incomplete as Malloy was blitzing.
Anytime that you keep a back in there, he better be able to block. Here's Lawyer Malloy coming off the edge right here. Holcomb was on the other side. He had to come across in front of Steve McNair to get Malloy.
And now Joe Nedney to attempt a 45-yard field goal. Hentrick to hold, and that kick is no good. Wide to the left, so they waste a 39-yard run by Holcomb. Nedney can't cash in, and a little less than 3 minutes into the first quarter. Tom Brady and the world champion Patriots take over. Bill Belichick going over the pictures with his defensive unit. Burns to the 39-yard run by Holcomb, but no damage. And now after the missed field goal, New England. Pretty good starting point. Their own 35. Tom Brady, Super Bowl MVP. Over the middle. Dumps it underneath. Caught. And then a 5-yard gain for Daniel Graham, their number 1 pick out of Colorado. Here's the New England offense.
Tom Brady, Michigan Wolverines.
Antoine Smith, Houston.
Mark Edwards, Notre Dame.
Troy Brown, Marshall.
David Patton, Western Carolina.
Christian Fourier, Colorado. Matt Light, Purdue.
Mike Compton, West Virginia University.
Damian Woody, Boston College. Joe Andruzzi, Southern Connecticut State.
Leota Jones, South Florida.
2nd and 5 for the Pats now. Run a draw with Smith, who gets a hard yard, and that's all. He's wrapped up by Carlos Hall. Hall playing Purse's spot. Purse active tonight, but not starting, at least not in at the moment. Here's the Tennessee defense.
Kevin Carter, University of Florida, Fighting Gators.
John Thornton, West Virginia University.
Albert Hainsworth, the University of Tennessee.
Carlos Hall, Arkansas.
Peter Sherman, University of Oregon.
Randall Godfrey, University of Georgia Bulldogs.
Keith Bullock, Syracuse University. Andre Dyson, University of Utah.
St. Williams, Stanford. Lance Schultz, Hofstra University.
Smyre Road, Florida State University.
And the crowd into it as for the first time since opening day, Curse is in the game. He came in on 3rd down, but David Patton makes the catch to convert. So a broken foot on the 2nd play of the season for Curse after he'd missed almost all of preseason. And as Jeff Fisher said last night, it's his first game in 11 months in effect.
Yeah, and he wants to really play him as a right defensive end, but because of his right foot being broke, he wants to play him on that left side.
He'll come in and out tonight, maybe 20, 25 plays. He's out for the moment. Back on the ground, they give it to Antoine Smith, who puts his head down and gets a couple out to the 49-yard line. Tom Brady, everybody knows the story last year. It was Drew Bledsoe's team. He got hurt. In came Brady as a caretaker, and the next thing you know, the caretaker owned the castle. Bledsoe goes to Buffalo. It's Tom's team, and the future couldn't be brighter, you would think.
The caretaker is pretty doggone good. I tell you, we talk about confidence and being comfortable and all those things a quarterback has to do. He has it.
Look at that move. Slip move there. Turns his shoulders, buys time, hits Troy Brown, and that's going to be a first down. It was Keith Bullock who came in, and Brady gave him a little shoulder fake. Bullock with the tackle here.
This is one of the things that Tom Brady does the best. He's not a scrambler, but he moves well in the pocket, and that's what any quarterback has to do. You have to be able to move in the pocket, buy a little time like this, get away from rush, bring the ball back, recock it, find your receiver, and get it to him.
Avoiding Thornton coming through. First down now. No score. 6 minutes into the game. New England spreading it out. Nobody in the backfield. 5 receivers set. And Brady in the pocket and gets sacked by Henry Ford, who has lost his starting job tonight. The longtime starter, they're going to go with Albert Hainsworth, their #1 draft choice. And Henry says, just a minute.
And you're going to see Henry Ford. He beats Mike Compton on that play. Mike Compton is a left guard right here. And you're going to see Henry Ford is right here. Now watch as Compton sets up. He gets a little too high for a guard. And Henry Ford just runs right through his outside shoulder. See what Compton did? He stood up, lost his power. Ford was able to get underneath him.
Brady must have felt he was run over by a Ford Explorer. 9-yard sack. 2nd and 19.
Pulling a trailer.
Going over the middle. Troy Brown, short gain, takes it to the 46. It's going to set up a 3rd and 14. Randall Godfrey, longtime Cowboy, now with the Titans, makes the tackle.
Tom Brady really likes that open backfield where you don't have anyone in the backfield. You have 5 receivers on the line of scrimmage. He said that he can read the defenses easier. I mean, he sees their blitz. He knows what's coming. But on that play, Henry Ford just beat his guard. So he's looking for blitz. There was no blitz. But his tackle beat his guard.
Play call from Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, into the helmet of Brady, who rolls to his right to buy time. 3rd and 13, going deep and nobody home.
You don't think they're aware of Javon Curse? That's what happens. They're going to roll to his side. They're going to come out to this side, but they bring the tight end over in motion, and they get a double team on him, get him caught to the inside, and then Brady can get to the outside. It was Christian Fourier that came over to help block on Javon Curse.
Ken Walker, fairly erratic season for him to this point. Tries to angle this one, but it bounces in the middle of the field and then gets away from Gerard Cherry and into the end zone for the touchback. Halfway through the opening period and a flag on the play. First of the game. Ron Winter is the referee.
Yeah, I'm going to be the first to say it. This field is in terrible shape, and for whatever reason, from the numbers to the side, and I was down there before the game, and the players were all complaining about it, and this is terrible.
Holding. Number 24, the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Outside the hashes here, it's painted dirt. See what I mean on Brady's elbow. No score. Aerial coverage provided tonight by Budweiser. The Coliseum on the banks of the Cumberland River here in Nashville. Second possession for the Titans. They begin from the 10-yard line. Steve McNair at quarterback on 1st down. Over the middle, dumps it off to Eddie George. He gets 9 to the 19, tackled by Ted Johnson. Eddie George, they throw to him with some regularity. That is the 32nd catch of the season for him.
Well, not as much as they used to, because they take him out on 3rd down now, and they've kind of gotten Robert Holcomb. Remember, he was a fullback for the Rams, and he's lost weight and became a tailback here, and he's become the 3rd down back for the Titans.
So what he could do earlier, in case you missed it, he opened the game with a 39-yarder. And now there's George over the 20 to the 21-yard line. 1st down, and we check in with Melissa.
Al, you and John just talking about the field. Well, as you could see, it's only been resodded between the numbers and the hash marks. And I talked to Titans general manager Floyd Reese before the game, and he said that's because it's a special type of sod. They looked all over the country for it. They couldn't find anymore. And Eddie George told me, believe it or not, at this point in the season, it's actually in good condition, but it gets very torn up late in the game. It's hard to get your footing. And this week, Bill Belichick showed his players specific plays from last week's Titans-Colts game here to point out the players slipping, just to warn them.
Eddie George gets back. They look all over the country. Like where? Alaska?
And this is all they could find is painted dirt?
This is winter rules. There isn't a lie here where you wouldn't be allowed to move the ball.
I think all the grass specialists are working on golf courses. That's what I think. And I don't think there's any guy like, there has to be a guy for everything. Mm-hmm. I think the guy for football fields isn't here anymore. He's a golf course guy.
Well, this is about as bad as it can get. 2nd down and 5 from the 26-yard line. McNair running, and then he's out of the pocket. And Willie McGinnis chased him but couldn't sack him, and it's incomplete. 3rd down.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages the Patriots have on defense with Willie McGinnis, who can go in there and he can be a defensive end or he can be a linebacker. And then they can go from a 3-man line to a 4-man line with him. But what we just saw there is he can run, and he can always have containment. So you're not going to be able, most right-handed quarterbacks want to bootleg to their right side or run out to their right side, and that's where Willie McGinnis usually is.
John Simon, the rookie, now comes in on 3rd down. The rookie out of Louisiana Tech. Free agent, caught a touchdown pass last week against Indy, and with the play clock running down on 3rd down and 5, McNair has to take a timeout. Timeout Titans, 5.5 to go. Opening period. No score. Steve McNair ready to take his team up to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and 5. Steve, so durable, playing through a lot of injuries. You go back to 98, left toe, shoulder for a little while. Then 99 was the Super Bowl season, back spasms, left toe. He eventually had back surgery, right shoulder in 2000. Last year, right shoulder, he had surgery on that during the offseason. Now the ribs and the toe, and that's why, as John discussed at the top of the show, he doesn't practice. Threw a couple of balls on Thursday, and that's been it. But he's played brilliantly against the Giants and against Indianapolis. 3rd and 5, and now Holcomb's in the game. And McNair throws, and the coverage is blanket coverage. And Drew Bennett runs into Otis Smith, and there's no flag. Incidental contact, 4th down.
Otis Smith is pretty good. Everyone thinks, well, he's getting too old, he can't play, and he plays the other side of Ty Law. If you're going to work on someone, it's always going to be Otis Smith. But the old vet is pretty good. He's always around there, and he plays that press coverage. Now, what the fans are booing about here is you can press him, you can hit him, you can bump him, but only the first 5 yards. And I think that maybe old OTIS was on there a little longer than that.
Yeah, he was. It was a little bit more than incidental. Craig Hentrick angles one to the near sideline. Fair catch is called for and made at the 28-yard line by Troy Brown. And McNair shaking the right hand with 5:13 to go in the period. Downtown Nashville, no score at the Coliseum. Tomorrow, John Ritter's son goes on his first big date. Brand new 8 simple rules. Then Jim Belushi brings down the house on a new According to Jim. Tomorrow, Tuesday night, right here on ABC. New England from the 28-yard line. A little more than 5 minutes to go. Scoreless opening quarter. 2 teams each 8 and 5. Take the end around to Brown. Buys Brady some time, and he swings one out to Brown on the far side after he saw nothing downfield, and he picked up 7 yards, tackled by Andre Dyson.
Every time the Patriots play on offense, you always know that you're going to see some things, and it's going to be a reverse, it's going to be a fake reverse, it's going to be a reverse pass, and it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of screen. This one is a fake reverse. Watch him. He's going to fake here, then he's going to fake to Troy Brown, then he's going to be back. Look how cool he is. Looking downfield, can't find anything, comes back to Troy Brown.
2nd and 3, toss back to Smith. Last week, in fact, John, they had Brady catching a touchdown pass from Falk, but that was called back by a penalty. How about New England routing Buffalo last week, and they had 3 touchdowns called back.
Yeah, and they played very well last week, and and that's part of their confidence too. We're talking about how confident they are, and you could just see them last week against Buffalo. All that Drew Bledsoe talk and everything. They overcame that, and they played great, especially in the first half.
This is a team that started the year with 3 wins. Everybody said, hey, they're the best. They're for real. Then they lose 4. They look like they're dead. Then they win 5 out of 6. 3rd and the deuce. Falk is offset behind Brady. And Brady going deep and lofts it and out of bounds to Donald Hayes. Threw it right there, but Hayes was on the chalk, such as it is on this field, incomplete.
And that is tough to see. And I know that Bill Belichick was complaining about that before the game, that you can't see that sideline over there. But part of this is Hayes' fault. He has to give Brady a couple yards. You can't run up that close to the sideline because then the quarterback can't throw the ball over your outside shoulder.
Ken Walters' kick. Fair catch called for. 41 yards into the arms of John Simon. 3.5 left. First quarter, New England nothing. Tennessee nothing. Saturday, we've got John Daly, Rich Beam, Jim Furyk taking on some of the best women and senior golfers in the world. A one-of-a-kind golf event. The Wendy's 3-Tour Challenge. Saturday, 4 Eastern and Pacific, right here on ABC. Keep an eye on McNair here, who came out shaking his hand after the last offensive series. From the 22, he starts by giving the ball to Eddie George for a 3 or 4 yard pickup.
Yeah, what happened is Steve McNair hit his hand on Robert Holcomb's helmet. Watch Holcomb on the left side is going to be blocking right there. Roman Pfeiffer knocks him right back, and as Steve McNair throws or follows through, it goes right into Holcomb's helmet.
And McNair, who has begun 1 of 5 for 9 yards. Neil O'Donnell, the longtime quarterback, several years at Pittsburgh, led them to a Super Bowl, is the backup. 2nd down and 6 from the 26-yard line as McNair gets pressured, escapes a sack, throws, and the pass is too high. Derek Mason covered on the play as Ted Johnson, the middle linebacker, came blasting through and almost got him.
Yeah, we were talking about different types of coverages and different types of things. The Patriots have three safeties that they'll play, and that time they bring in Victor Green, and he plays along with Tabucky Jones and Lawyer Malloy. So they can either go 3 safeties if you don't have 3 or 4 wide receivers, or they can go 3 corners, or they can go 3 corners and 3 safeties.
3rd down and 6. That's Simon, the rookie, in motion. McNair alone in the backfield. Everybody out into the pattern. Off the fingertips. The catch by Drew Bennett, a one-time quarterback at UCLA, who then became a wide receiver, and a flag goes down at the end of the play.
That was a heck of a catch, though, by Drew Bennett. A pretty good throw by Steve McNair, too. That was, we talk about the packages that the Patriots use on defense. They had their 7 defensive backs in there. The first time they used it, the Titans ran against it and were successful. This time they pass and get a first down.
Number 45 defense. Penalties decline. Play results and a first down.
Otis Smith. It would have been a first down regardless, but of course they'll take the play here. It's a lot more yardage.
That's Drew Bennett. He gets jammed there, and he gets inside Otis Smith. I mean, that was pretty good. If a corner's going to be physical with you, and you're a wide receiver, you have to be equally as physical.
That pass puts McNair over 3,000 yards passing this season, in addition to more than 300 running. And Eddie George goes through the middle and takes it up to the 45-yard line, where he's tackled by Richard Seymour. And for McNair, going over 3,000 with 300 rushing yards puts him in that company. Those guys have done it 3 times. Randall Cunningham, Steve Young, and now Steve McNair. Of course, Donovan McNair figures to be on that list somewhere down the line. And Michael Vick figures to be on that list somewhere down the line. 2nd down and 7 from the 45-yard line. McNair, look out from behind, gets hit from behind with the arm coming forward, popped by Willie McGinnis, and that's an incomplete pass.
And that's Willie McGinnis on the other side. We talk about the speed of McGinnis. When you come to his side, he has containment. But the other thing is when you go away from him, he can chase you down. This is what happens here. Watch McGinnis. He's under control here. And now McNair starts to go away from him, and he chases him down. You know, and you have a clock in your head as a quarterback, but your clock better be a little quicker when Willie McGinnis is coming from your backside.
3rd down and 7 from the shotgun. McNair throws, but the catch is made shy of the 50, and then Wycheck tries to reach across, and there's a flag down in the secondary in the middle of the field.
One thing I think the Titans are doing is smart here against these 7 defensive backs. They're either running it or they're throwing the shorter passes. They're not forcing anything into this defense, and this defense is coming up with another penalty. You know, there's a fine line between being aggressive and being physical and picking up penalties. And I think that the Patriots are starting out on the wrong side of that line.
Number 24 defense. A 5-yard penalty and a 1st down.
So another defensive holding call, automatic 1st down at the 50-yard line.
And that's Ty Law. He's right there in the slot. He's covering Derek Mason. And that's going to be a matchup that we're going to see most of the time. You see right there as Mason goes to run the end, Ty Law gets his left arm up there.
From the 50. There, swings to the outside, caught, seeking that 1st down, and coming very close is Greg Camella, who came over from the Giants, the ex-Giant, 50 out of Stanford. Picks up maybe a 1st down at the 40-yard line.
You know, one thing both these quarterbacks do is they spread the ball around. I mean, it's not one receiver. They don't eye one guy and throw to him. McNair will do this. I mean, he's going to throw to, he throws to Wycheck, then he throws to Camella, throws to his wide receivers. He puts the ball all over the place.
Didn't get the ball to the stick, so it's 2nd down and inches from the 40-yard line. Sneak, McNair, and that should move the chains.
You talk about toughness. I don't know who called that play, but that's pretty tough. Here's a guy with a bad hand. He has bad ribs. He has to take a shot for his ribs, and you run him on a quarterback sneak and 2nd and short. I would think that's what Eddie George is for. You don't need Steve McNair to take that hit.
Period ends with no score. Tennessee and New England scoreless after 1. And ABC's Monday Night Football from Nashville resumes after this message. And a word from our ABC stations. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Budweiser in Nashville. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Melissa Stark. Steve McNair again without practice this week, but tonight 3 out of 9, 34 yards. Well, as long as Gore's not running, why not you, John?
Oh,
I know why. From the 39, 1st down for McNair, who throws, and that's caught, and it's a 1st down as Mason spins to the outside. Ty Law runs him out. And McNair, a little slow in horizon.
He zipped that one out there to Derek Mason. Derek Mason is his number 1 receiver, his favorite guy. Ty Law, the best corner on the Patriots, is going to be matched up with him and covering all night. And that is a pretty good move and a pretty good throw by McNair. You know, when you have a sloppy field like this and you're slipping, the advantage will always be the offensive guy because he knows where he's going.
From the 23, 1st down. George breaks one, picks up 11 to the 13-yard line following a Tom Ackerman block. Eddie George, who came into the game averaging, as I said, almost a yard under the league average, and picking up 2-3 yards. He has been productive, though. Got into the end zone twice last week. As you can see, last year, when you go out to a 3rd decimal, 2.98. This year, 3.28, and that's the lowest in history with a guy who's carried that much.
He's not carrying as much anymore, and he's not as big a part of this offense as he's been. The Titans are in transition.
There he is again. Yards per carry for Eddie George as we go through the seasons. 99 was the Super Bowl year, where he averaged 4.1. showed you what he did last year. 2.98 when you draw it out to 3, and then this year. Hey, John, it just dawned on me. Of course you don't want to run for president. Air Force One. What am I thinking about?
Well, the president can't stay on the ground. The president has to be able to go places quickly.
Outback one, roaming the interstate. 2nd and 7. Is Eddie George to the 10-yard line.
It wouldn't be a bad idea if they did stay on the ground, though, and see this whole country. I think, not to get away from here, but I think that's the only way you can really see the whole country is being on the ground. And that's what the Titans were trying with Eddie George. They say the red zone and teams that are good inside the red zone, once you get in that inside that 20-yard line, are usually the teams that can rush the ball the best. And that's why the Dolphins are so good at it, because they have Ricky Williams.
And they'll lead Ricky Williams 2 road games, including that last one at New England. 3rd down and 8. McNair, great protection, but the secondary does its work. Then he escapes a tackle and bangs his way in for a touchdown. 11 yards, and he broke away from Bucky Jones to do it.
He is strong. You look here, he has great protection. There's a good pocket, but there's no one open. He's looking right, looking left. Now as he looks left, he finds a hole, and he is so big and strong. You see Bucky Jones on there? There's no way that you can tackle Steve McNair with one arm. With 2 arms, you can't tackle him.
You need 2 guys with 2 arms. Nedney converts. Titans go 78 yards, 12 plays. Tennessee 7. And the Super Bowl champs, nothing. The Tennessee Titans trying to make it 8 out of 9 with Nedney to kick off. Tennessee up 7-0 as Patrick pass. Comes up from the 3 to the 18. Tackled by Holcomb.
I'll tell you, there is some hitting out there now. Let's watch that touchdown again. We saw it to Bucky Jones. We said you can't tackle him with one arm. Watch, he goes up. Watch what he does to Ty Law right there. Ty Law has him about the 5-yard line. He doesn't wrap anything, but Ty Law darn near gets knocked out on that hit.
McNair's 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. He also rushed for a 2-point conversion, and that was huge a couple of weeks ago against the Giants, sending the game into overtime and leading to a Tennessee win. Up to the 21 comes Antoine Smith for a gain of 3. So McNair goes in for the touchdown. Lawyer Malloy of the Patriots had some thoughts about something like that last play.
When they see him not going down with somebody draped on his shoulders and then making a completion, I think that they rally behind that. You know, he's definitely a warrior. He's a gladiator back there with the ball. An old school country boy. You know, just out there having fun, trying to make plays, and I have a lot of respect for that.
2nd and 6, backside screen, set up Smith. Good blocking out in front. No blue shirts until he gets taken down from behind at the 40-yard line by Henry Ford, who chased him all the way down the field from the 28-yard line.
You say there was no one in that picture. Usually on a screen, you see 3 or 4 guys on defense starting to converge. Watch this. He's going to roll to his right. That brings the defense over to his right. Then it's a throwback to the left, and there's no defense on that side of the field. You'd have to think that they were playing with 9 or 10 guys. But they all reacted to Brady rolling to his right.
Every one of them took Ford to run him down, and then Roll finally had an angle and came over, but not until he picks up 35. Fake, throw, and then it goes to Falk, but that is read very nicely inside by Keith Bullock. And Bullock is the guy who Jeff Fisher singled out last night as being the most productive defensive player. And Jeff said this guy should go to Honolulu.
Yeah, Bullock's a good player. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's not really as much a rush linebacker. He's just a true old-fashioned linebacker. He plays the linebacker position, plays the run very well, plays the pass very well.
Intercepted a pass last week from Peyton Manning in the win over the Colts. Falk again. Takes it to the 38. The backup running back tackled by Peter Sermon.
You know, I think that run of Steve McNair knocked some stuff in both of these teams because, you know, I felt earlier that they were just kind of sparring, you know, that they both respect each other. They both know that, you know, there's going to be a physical game. They both have good quarterbacks, good offense, and they didn't want to make any mistakes. But I think once Steve McNair opened it up, that was kind of the first big punch, and now you have to fight.
At the 38, 3rd down and 5. They spread it out. They send Brown in motion. Pressure's on. Sack of Brady. They pinched him from the outside, and then through the inside comes Carlos Hall for the sack.
Carlos Hall is a rookie, a 7th-round draft pick, and he's a heck of a player. He's the guy that when Javon Curse got hurt in that first game, Carlos Hall had to play, and he's played well. He starts in the outside, then he comes inside on a stunt. He's a right end, then he comes around the tackle.
And that forces Walker to punt. He'll drop that one at the 1, and it bounds into the end zone. So the big screen, and that's to no avail. As the Titans stiffen, get the big sack. New England can't even get into field goal range, and it remains Tennessee 7, New England nothing. All the BCS Bowls on ABC. Washington State, Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. Georgia, Florida State in the Sugar. USC, Iowa, Carson Palmer in the orange, and then the national championship game, Miami, Ohio State in the Fiesta, Jan 3. First down for the Titans from the 20-yard line. Eddie George. 4-yard gain. You know, I think about Eddie George, John. Woody Hayes would have loved this guy. 3 yards and a cloud of dust, which was Hayes' mantra in Ohio. Of course, here it would be, 3 yards and a puddle of mud.
Yeah, and some mud and dirt. But the thing about Eddie George, he's a tough guy. I mean, he's not the same. I mean, he's still a good back. At one time, he was a great running back, and I think that the injuries and the pounding have kind of caught up with him, but he's still a tough guy.
2nd down and 5. Eddie again. We're in Music City. I'm going to take you to a Puddle of Mud concert one time. It's a good group. Won a lot of awards last week. 8 minutes to go in the half. Eddie George, first 5 years, averaging almost 86 yards a game. And then over the last 2, he had that toe injury last year, and that really did him in.
I think at one time, as I said, this Titan offense was Eddie George in defense, and now it's Steve McNair in defense.
George coming out. Mentioned before, 3rd down, he comes out. Normally Holcomb comes in. Sometimes Simon comes in.
Well, Simon is a little guy with speed that was a wide receiver and moved to running back and can play either wide receiver or running back.
Timeout, Tennessee. So after the timeout taken by Steve McNair, and that's Tennessee's 2nd big play coming up, 3rd down. As you look at the offensive production tonight, Titans with more than a 2-1 advantage. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw here in Nashville.
You remember Tim McGraw's dad, Tug McGraw?
Absolutely. Watched him many times.
Well, when he was in the World Series, I named a dog after him.
You got to believe. 3rd down and 5. McNair throws, underthrows, intercepted by Terrell Buckley. And Buckley had 2 picks on Monday night in the opener, then drops the ball, and it was a live ball, and Tennessee winds up with it.
And that was the thing we said, that McNair wasn't throwing into that 7 defensive backs. Bill Belichick finally got one, and they give it right back.
And it's Robert Holcomb who winds up with the fumble recovery.
Here's Terrell Buckley. He's right up here on top. And you see he has good coverage. Then he comes back, makes the interception, and then he starts to run with it. Now watch the ball. As he turns, the ball is just pulled right out of there. You see as he spins right there, it's just pulled out, and it's on the ground before he goes down.
Holcomb with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery and a 39-yard gain tonight.
Holcomb has made some pretty big hits tonight in this first half.
Big plays for the former Ram fullback. And that enables Eddie George on first down to get to the 47-yard line, where he's stopped there by Mike Vrabel. Next week, a beauty, we go to Tampa and the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Big-time matchup next week. ESPN has a Saturday night game since it's Philadelphia against the Cowboys in the holiday season. Saturday night instead of Sunday night next week. 2nd down and 5 as McNair. And how many times does he do it? And do it so brilliantly and successfully and effectively to the 29-yard line.
And that's what you have to take away against Steve McNair, and that's what Bill Belichick is getting frustrated against. He knows that you have to take away those lanes, because if you give him a lane, either throw it or run it, then he has the options. He's so strong that right now he has a lane to his left, he sees it, and he doesn't see another defender for 10 yards. See that lane that he sees, and the minute that he sees it, he takes it. He doesn't run to the outside, he runs it straight up the middle. 23 yards for him, his longest run of the year. First down, George now, bottled up as he crosses the 30-yard line. Steve McNair, like the Titans in recent years, cold weather comes in, not that we have it tonight, but in December, in his last 14 games in this month, take a look at those figures. A 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. 12-2 is the mark. I think I would take Steve McNair in any month. If you drop off, he can run on you, and if you play tight, he can throw it against you. And he is so strong.
2nd and 9, comes back this way and then underthrows. Greg Camelo with more on Steve McNair. Let's go to Melissa.
Well, we've been talking all night about his toughness. During the offseason, he had shoulder surgery. And guess what he did the very next day? He went out bow hunting, and he shot a buck. Nothing like putting the shoulder back to the test. But believe it or not, he said that he plays better when he concentrates better when he plays with pain. He said, when I have something wrong, I just have to focus more to try to overcome it. One thing he does have going for him, though, he can get his injuries treated 24/7 at home and at the facility. That is because his wife, Michelle, just graduated from nursing school, and he said she takes great care of me.
Ah, that's the ticket. 3rd down and 9. He drops the snap here. McNair then throws wide open, 13-yard line, and converting is Derek Mason, his go-to guy now with Dyson done for the year. It's a 16-yard pickup.
I'll tell you, when you can make dessert out of slop, you're something special. Because this starts out as slop. I mean, he's back there in the shotgun, drops the ball, he's getting pushed, getting pressed, comes to the outside. Now watch him wing it. Most right-handed quarterbacks, when they have to go, they will move to their right. He moves out to his left and still has that type of velocity.
First down at the 13. The Patriots, when they were losing early in the year, very bad in the red zone. Much improved now, but Eddie George takes the ball inside the 10 to the 8 behind a Mike Green block.
You know, we were talking earlier about the red zone and how important the running game is in the red zone, and equally as important, or maybe even more important, is a running quarterback. Because you never, when you play man-to-man defense, and you usually play more, the closer you get to the goal line, the more man-to-man defense you have to play, and you don't have a man for the quarterback.
See if McNair can exploit that here before this drive is kaput. 2nd and 5 from the 9-yard line. Eddie George trying to get it to the outside and can only get it to the 7, so they're 3 or 4 yards shy of the first with 3:40 to go in the half.
And you can feel that this really is Steve McNair's team, and you can see that the offense is on his shoulders. Don't you feel that they're down here and that he has to make the play? I mean, they try and run to Eddie George a couple times, and maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, that was Titan football. Right now, I think when you get down here, Steve McNair has to make the play.
He's carried 4 times for 43 tonight. Come up with a double tight end set, 3rd down and 3. Looking to run, has the first down, 2-yard line, 1st and goal.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. When you have a Steve McNair, you try the other way, you try your running back, and you say, that's not good. We have to put the ball, we need a few yards, we need a first down in here. We have to keep the ball in Steve McNair's hands. This is a bootleg, and it's an option run or pass. When he can get out there with the ball, you also have your feet to fake the guy, and you can fake him with the ball. Look how many guys it took to take him down. I mean, you usually don't say that about a quarterback, but Steve McNair is a load.
And so is Eddie George in this situation. Eddie with 6 touchdown runs of 1 or 2 yards. This one from about the 1.5, and they were going to give it to him, but there's a whistle.
You notice they put the fullback in motion.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yeah, it used to always be you'd keep the fullback in there in the goal line, and he would be the lead blocker, but defenses started to play that lead blocker so tough that now they don't use a lead blocker, or they use that lead blocker for deception.
Titans on the ground. McNair 48 yards. George 47 of those yards. Holcomb had the 39-yard run, and the clock ticks down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7. When we come back, Tennessee 7, New England nothing.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. At halftime tonight, we'll pick the best team in the NFL, rate Terrell Owens' latest touchdown dance, and we can't forget J-Lo.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. J-Lo. At my age, I can only handle Jell-O.
You're sad.
You feeling me, Al?
Tony, I feel you and your angst like a 6.9 earthquake. Love you, man. Those guys are good. That's bombast with intelligence.
Yeah, that's very, very enjoyable.
Yep, very enjoyable and a very unusual combination. 1st and goal from the 6. Eddie George. Stopped by Vrabel after a gain of 1. The Titans have 1 timeout.
I have the same feeling here about the Titans, and it has to be in Steve McNair's hands. I mean, they try that Eddie George, you pound it in there, and that doesn't seem the way to go. It seems that, again, either let Steve McNair go back and throw the ball, let him bootleg and run that option, run it and throw it, or just run it on offense.
2nd and goal from the 6. Justin McCarron's in motion, sets up in the slot on the right. Eddie George can barely get out of his tracks. 3rd down and goal.
And I think the fans are thinking the same thing, that when you have Steve McNair and he is so dangerous down here, why don't you have him make the play? Now you get in 3rd down. Now you have to have Steve McNair make the play. And again, you kind of take away the option of the run in this situation. I mean, this is a true passing situation.
3rd down goal. They have Holcomb in the game. And they give it to Holcomb. Swinging to the outside. Can he turn the corner? He does. Does he get him? No. He's inside the 1. Lawyer Malloy saved 7. At least for the moment.
This is going to be a big call for Jeff Fisher. I mean, the odds say that right here that you have to kick the field goal. But again, with a guy like Steve McNair, the threat of Steve McNair, I would think that you would want to get him to make a play for you. Watch Holcomb. He gets that ball in the outside hand.
It's where the ball is, because this is something that they can look at upstairs, and I'm sure are.
Right. See, the ball can be out of bounds. I mean, the ball can go over the goal line out of bounds. Because as they say, the goal line extends all the way around the world.
It does.
So if the ball goes over the goal line out of bounds and he is inbounds, then that would be a touchdown.
So it's 4th down and goal.
Jeff Fisher's waiting for the booth to challenge, and there hasn't been any challenge.
The play clock, meantime, went all the way down to 0, so that's why they're going to push it back to 25. They are taking a look at this upstairs, and that's why Ron Winter is not coming over to the near side. So they're going to review it. I don't know how you change it from what we've seen at this point. I mean, you have to guess. You have to be a surveyor to figure out where the ball actually crosses the goal line.
Now, see, the ball can cross the goal line outside as long as he's in. See, now, if the ball crosses the goal line before his right foot hits outside, it's a touchdown, no matter where the ball is.
Well, I don't see anything there that overturns it.
I don't either, because he didn't stretch the ball out. If he would have stretched the ball out of bounds and reached the ball forward, that could have been a touchdown.
Nothing so far that would indicate an overturn. Again, it's the kind of play that if it is called a touchdown on the field, they wouldn't overturn that either.
Determine if the ball broke the plane of the goal line.
Good luck. It's a classic case of the call on the field being so important, because the call was no touchdown. I don't see what you can see to overturn it. But if they had called it a touchdown, I don't see anything that would have overturned that either.
Right, and I think that if Holcomb were to stretched out with his right hand, you just know that the ball can be out of bounds, that would have been a touchdown. But the fact that he didn't, I don't think that the ball broke the plane either inside the pylon or outside the pylon. See, in fact, he kind of held the ball back. So now the interesting thing, if it's not, what does Jeff Fisher do? You're at home. You have a 7-point lead. If you can get another score here, if you can get another touchdown here, that can be a big momentum. That could be a big plus. Now, if you go for it and don't get it, then you can give the momentum right back to the Patriots.
I think he'll go for it.
I do too. I mean, if I had Steve McNair, I would somehow, kind of like the Minnesota Vikings did yesterday. You have a Dante Culpepper, you put him in shotgun, put the ball in his hands, he fumbles it, picks it up, and runs it into the end zone. I don't know if that's a play that you would try, but that's the type of thing that I would probably do. See, if Holcomb would just reach out with that ball. See how it kind of comes back?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it ever breaks the plane before he goes out of bounds.
Also, when is he considered out of bounds here? He's not out of bounds there.
Not there. Yeah. And so it's where the ball is when that second foot goes out of bounds, as far as the plane or not.
By the time his second foot comes down, it's conceivable you could contend he was across the goal line. I'll be very surprised if he overturns this, though.
After review, there is no indisputable visual evidence that the ball broke the plane of the goal line before the ball carrier went out of bounds. There's Hart. It's 4th down.
Correctamente. Great play by Lawyer Malloy. But now they have to do it again. They need one more great play. Because the Titans are going to go for it. 4th and inches.
I think when you have, and you hate to quarterback sneak. You hate to have your quarterback sneak with bad ribs. They've already done it once, and I said I was surprised they did it. That was on a 2nd and 1. Here on 4th and short, I think you have to do that. I think Steve McNair has to take the ball.
Now, this conversation may have, you can see that in reading his lips, he said, where's the ball being spotted?
Well, the ball would have to be spotted where he went out of bounds.
Well, there it is.
At Old Veterans Center, when he comes up, he'll pick that ball up, and sometimes I've seen him almost put it on the goal line. The center will come up, and he'll cheat the ball up a little.
You only need about 6 inches. And that timeout is called by New England. Timeout, Pats. 37 seconds left in the half. So after all of this, after the review, after the timeout, and with 37 seconds on the clock, it's 4th down and goal from about 6 inches out. McNair will do it himself and angles his way in. No signal yet. Touchdown now.
As I said, I think you hated to do it on 2nd and 1, but on 4th and short, I think you had to do that. I think it had to be a quarterback sneak. I think Steve McNair had to handle the ball. He is something very, very special, and if you're going to win, just jump on his shoulders.
He's rushed for both touchdowns tonight. Are we going to look again upstairs?
The play is being reviewed.
All right.
You seem to not appreciate that one.
Where's the ball? Yeah, the ball is over.
I don't even think that one's close.
Yeah. They may review it. Sometimes, they err on the side of caution or whatever. You know what I'm saying.
You're making excuses for them.
No, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that's what they're doing.
Making reasons for it.
Yeah, I'm not making reasons. I think that's so self-evident. They should call down and say, you know what? We've unreviewed it from up here to save the official from going over.
I think Ron Winters kind of felt that way. I mean, you could tell that in his voice. But, enough with this.
To confirm that the ball broke the plane to the goal line.
You see, this is where, upstairs it's so evident that it's a touchdown. And I know the official, I know he's the chief law enforcement officer without committing perjury, but it's a case of upstairs the guy should just say it's a touchdown.
Or he should just say nothing, which would be the same. He just ought to be quiet, go get his hot dog, and go and take the halftime. What Steve McNair is doing, I just saw him go in the locker room, so he's not even on the field. He knows that he's done his job in this first half. And
Titans have been leading the league coming into this weekend in time of possession, and right now not only 11 minutes in this quarter, but they've had the ball more than twice as much as New England in the game, 1946 to 942.
And that's really always your best defense.
With the ball in his possession, the ball broke the play in the goal line. Touchdown.
What a shock.
Pardon the interruption.
You see, you've become a promo machine now.
That was the interruption before, maybe. The goal line and the whole thing. That interruption, everyone has to ask why.
Why ask why? Bentley for the point after. Half a minute to go now in the half. And the Titans trying to go to 9-5. Pardon the interruption, with Tony and Mike coming up at the half. We'll also take a look at the playoff picture in both conferences coming up at the half on the Toyota halftime show. Tennessee they'd be tied with Indianapolis in terms of record, but having beaten them twice would be atop the AFC South with a win. And New England would be tied with Miami. Miami would own the tiebreak for the moment, but it's kind of moot because those two teams are going to meet on closing day.
Right, and you just have the feeling that in this first half anyway that it was going to be a physical game, and the Titans have been much more physical, especially on offense. And a big part of it is Steve McNair. He gave himself life, he gave his whole team life, he gave this crowd life, and put everything into it. And you just watch him. Just last night when he was sitting there, I was watching him. He weighs 230 pounds, and like Tom Brady's 225 pounds. But didn't you get that was a different 230 pounds?
Yeah.
There are quarterbacks in this league that weigh 230, 235. But Steve McNair is a big, strong 230.
Kevin Falk from the 8. And Nedney is the guy who slows him down and then stops him out at the 43. So they have 25 seconds. They try to get at least into Vinatieri's field goal range. And they have the timeouts to do it. They have 2.
And I know that with a little time that the New England Patriots can go a long way.
Yes, you do.
I think they just ought to go for it. Just open up. Just fire away. Don't worry about the horse being blind. Just load the wagon, Patriots. Just
go for it. From the 43. And now they're going to keep it on the ground and give it to Kevin Falk for a gain of 4. And take a timeout. Interesting way to start. Titans have had some leads here last year in this, leading by 14 or more at the half, but they coughed it up on 3 of those occasions. Once this year, twice last year. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, where the Patriots spread it out on 2nd and 6. Throw it underneath. Cam Cleland picks up the first down, 43-yard line, and now New England takes its final timeout.
Steve McNair just adds another dimension. You know, if you cover things and you give him a lane, he's going to run. If you give him a lane to throw it, he can zip it out there. And then you better have a whole bunch of tacklers when he does run, because he can run right over you. And then when you need a play like that, 4th and short on the goal line, and you decide to go for it, you just have to keep it in his hand.
Rushed for 2 touchdowns tonight. He's rushed for 49. He's thrown for 66. Jeff Fisher, the bearded one, who grew that moss a couple of weeks ago before the Baltimore game. Signaling out to his defense. It's 1st and 10 now, but they don't have a timeout, so they have to work the outside or get a quick spike. And it's Brown who gets tied up. 13 seconds. So right now, if they gain nary a yard, it would be a 60-yard field goal attempt for Vinatieri.
And the Titans have done a good job on Troy Brown. They've done a good job on this whole Patriot offense, and part of it is the Titan offense has had the ball. I mean, that's, they always say the best defense is a good offense. Just keep the other offense off the field, and at least in this second quarter, that's what the Titans have done.
The Titans have had it almost 20 minutes. 2nd and 10. Brady sending it to the outside, slings it out of bounds, and now you're down to 1 play. So, in all likelihood, 1 play with 6 seconds, barring a defensive foul. Vinatieri's kicked a 57-yarder this season.
That's Javon Curse. Anytime he's in there, they're going to have a tight end over on his side. They're going to help him. They're not going to let him have that free edge to come up the field and go after Tom Brady. It's his first game back. He's saying, hey, I haven't played football in 11 months. Give me a break here.
The Titans have 3 guys back in the crease.
You always protect the crease.
You have to protect that crease.
6 seconds.
3 guys standing back on the goal line, and for some reason, I don't know. I guess he's out of bounds anyway, is Patton. They were trying to move it 3 or 4 yards closer in for Vinatieri.
Yeah, that was the one thing that they could do is get something quick and to the outside, complete it, and get out of bounds and get in a field goal position.
And they'll keep Brady and the offense in the game. Not thinking about attempting the field goal here. Last time we saw a field goal at the end of the half, remember what happened?
Yeah, right. And the Titans, where the Baltimore Ravens had 1 guy back, McAllister, the Titans have 3 guys back there on the goal line.
Well, there's no field goal attempt here, just a Hail Mary to come.
But they're still protecting that goal line with 3 guys.
And Brady barely gets it off, gets hit as he throws, and that was just dropped incomplete. It's Javon Curse, fittingly, on his comeback night, He got a hold of his arm, and Javon a little shaken at the end of the half. But the Patriots are the team that's really shaken right now because Tennessee had the ball twice as much and leads 14-0 at the half.
I fell into a burning ring of fire, went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire. Burns, 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 that ring of fire, that ring of fire, that ring of fire.
Steve McNair has rushed for 2 touchdowns here in the first half. Tennessee trying to make it 8 wins in its last 9 games, on top by 2 touchdowns.
I don't know that we've seen a dominant player like Steve McNair this year, or a player that was more dominant than Steve McNair was in that first half.
Certainly no more valuable.
A lot like Ray Lewis. Remember that night up in Baltimore, his first half was very, very dominant. Steve McNair had the same type of first half.
Yeah, when the Ravens upset Denver. Here's Falk. Kevin Falk to the 32-yard line, and let's check in with Melissa.
Well, Al, we've talked all first half about Steve McNair not getting the recognition he deserves, the 2 rushing touchdowns. Jeff Fisher said maybe people will start talking about him now. And typical coach, he was upset that they missed the field goal on the opening drive, said the score should be 17-0. Offensively, they're going to do the same exact thing in the second half. He said this is a dangerous team. Our mentality is to put points on the board. And just an observation of the Titans sideline from the start of the game. These players have been relaxed. They've been joking around. They are confident now.
It's their final home game of the year. They're going to go on the road to finish up at Jacksonville at Houston. Pretty good way to end the season. 1st and 10. And Brady begins by gunning one into the arms of Troy Brown for a first down to the 44. First half, big thing's going to be the time of possession for the Titans. 2-to-1 ratio. Total yards, 2.5 to 1. Rushing. Dominant. Titans. 49 for McNair, 48 for George. Brady throws, and that's incomplete, going deep downfield to the tight end, Cam Cleveland.
Yeah, one of the things you look at, halftime stats, and you say that, Antoine Smith has only carried the ball 4 times. They haven't gotten to the running game. They haven't gotten to Troy Brown. But they only had the ball 22 times, so they haven't done a lot of things.
Only 7 rushes. 4 for Smith, 3 for Falk. 2nd down and 10. Brady lofts one. And that's incomplete as Patton tried to get through the defender Andre Dyson and couldn't.
Yeah, we talk about corners on the Patriots, but the corners on the Titans are pretty good too. Samari Roll on this side, and when they work on someone, it's Andre Dyson.
Roughing the passer, number 91 defense. 15-yard penalty. On a first down.
It's the rookie Albert Hainsworth, their #1 pick out of Tennessee.
And he's getting his first start tonight. Watch 91. He just comes up and he hits Tom Brady just after he throws the ball. I don't know exactly what's wrong with that. There was no blow to the head. He looked like he just kind of ran into him. Well, I can think of, as they said, that the ball was already out and he hit him late.
Instead of 3rd and 10, it's 1st and 10 after the flag. And that pass intended for Patton is incomplete. And there's another flag down at the 27-yard line. And the way Patton is reacting to it, he's pretty sure he was interfered with.
One of the things, the Patriots come out in this second half, and they're going to change the pace of this game by going no huddle and stretching the field quickly. Of course, these penalties are helping too.
Number 22 defense penalizes a spot of the foul and a first down.
It's Andre Dyson.
And that's who they work on. They stay away from Samari Roll, so when you're staying away from one side, then you're going to work on the other side. And again, he got his hands on him after that 5-yard period.
From the 27, Brady Going to the outside. Croft first down. Troy Brown stepping out at the 16-yard line. Donald Mitchell with the coverage.
And you know that's what Bill Belichick talked about at halftime is just change the pace of this game.
Brady in the first half, 88 yards. He's thrown for 11 more here in the third quarter. No rushing game to speak of. Brown pretty much held in check. But now, a minute into the third quarter, they have it at the 16 after beginning at their own 31 on this drive.
Empty backfield. The thing they want to do is spread them out so they can read their blitzes.
5 receivers go out, and that's intended for Brown, but he gets blanketed on the outside by Don Mitchell.
I think this is a good theory by the Patriots to come out. And what they did in the first half didn't work. You kind of had the feeling that they were back in their heels, and the Titans put them back in their heels, and change this pace. Come out, change the momentum, do something, make something happen, and now you can feel that they're picking up a little that they didn't have in the first half.
Second down and 10. Screen. Smith tripped up. Good ankle tackle as he was taken down at the 10-yard line. Bullock is there.
That was one of the things that Jeff Fisher and the Titans worked on all week with screen passes, because they say that the Patriots run better screen passes than anyone else. But he says the key is they'll have double screens, but the center will always lead you to the screen. Damian Woody, the center, will always go to the side of the screen. There's Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator of the Titans.
Third down and 4. From the 10, and it's Brady himself taking it in for a touchdown. So all 3 touchdowns tonight have been scored on the ground by the quarterbacks.
Bill Belichick saying that's more like it. There's no one in the middle. Remember we were talking earlier, the closer you get to the goal line, you play man-to-man. Look at this gap right here. There's no one there, so Tom Brady can just see that, and all he has to do is follow a center, just run right into the end zone. You never have a man in man-to-man defense for the quarterback. So when you can spread them out like that, the quarterback can run it in.
Vinatieri. I wonder what the play call was in the huddle.
Well, sometimes you can call anything, and you see a gap like that, you have to, otherwise just take it and keep it yourself.
Absolutely. 14-7. ABC now the over-the-air home for NBA. Doubleheader day, Christmas Day. Celtics Nets, Kings Lakers. Beginning ABC's coverage of the NBA on Christmas Day. Week from Wednesday. Adam Vinatieri kicking off. Fielded 10-yard line. Rookie John Simon. Taken down hard by Myers at the 25-yard line. And another word from Melissa.
Well, Bill Belichick not happy at all at halftime, has to be a lot happier right now. But what he told his players in the locker room was, we have been in this situation before, and we know how to get out of it. And offensively, he wanted them to come right out of the blocks, which is exactly what they did. He said the key was to convert third downs. Defensively, they want to keep Steve McNair in front of them and tackle much, much better.
They have to. It's easier said than done, obviously, with Steve McNair.
Well, the first thing, before you tackle them, they have to take away those running lanes that they gave them in the first half.
McNair's going to throw on first down, swings it out to George, slips a tackle, and picks up the first down, and an 18-yard gain out to the 38-yard line.
What was Bill Belichick saying about tackling the second half?
And George escapes about 3 guys.
But he just starts here. He's going to loop out to the right. McNair is looking downfield, but he's so strong. He just pushes a pass rusher down, and then he gets the ball out there to Eddie George. He makes 2 guys miss, makes a 3rd guy miss, and finally Seymour gets down there and knocks him out of bounds.
And they're going to say that he was out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
I don't know how they would know.
It's a good question. I mean, that stripe is almost the same color as the painted mud.
And you see the painted mud all over the players' arms.
Second down and 3. And now they give the ball to Holcomb. A bunch of Jackson Pollocks out here, huh?
Right. There's Bill Belichick, and he's watching it. He doesn't like that sideline, so they come out, and you can see what they did is they painted some green there so they could tell the difference between the green and the white sideline, the border. This is the NFL.
That's what I was just thinking, the same thing.
These are billion-dollar businesses.
What is this all about? It's amazing. It's not like there's a game here every night. Third down and 1 from the 34.
Hank Williams is here.
He's here. Holcomb rakes it again to midfield. 17-yard gain for the ex-Ram, who has really found a new home.
He looks like a different guy, and it all starts off with his right tackle. Watch Fred Miller right here in the block that he gets in McGinnis. He gets inside him and then keeps him outside, and you can see Holcomb just run right off Fred Miller's block. You see him, he gets him, turns his hips to the outside, and as he flips his hips, Holcomb runs right by.
In Titan territory at the 49. McNair. Over the middle, a little too deep, intended for Drew Bennett.
Oh, and he had it too. He caught him on a blitz. This is what you're always looking for when you catch him on a blitz. You hope that you have someone deep and you pick it up. He has Bennett here on Otis Smith. He has a couple of steps on him, and he just put a little too much on that. Now, if you're going to blitz, you have to pick it up. Lawyer Malloy coming from the outside. Good pass protection again. They've had good pass protection against the Patriots blitz the whole time.
Second down and 10. Back to the ground. Back to Eddie George. Good tough running to the 41. He's a couple of yards shy of the first with a third down and 2 to come. Titans through the first half tonight. Steve McNair. The key, not only in the air, but on the ground, and that's through right now. That's up to the moment. Eddie George, 18 carries, 56 yards. Mason and Eddie George, each with 2 receptions. McNair's only completed 6 passes tonight. 6 out of 15.
And Mason's caught to 2, and he's their best receiver, and Ty Law has been on him most of the game.
Third and a deuce from the 41. And McNair going for 6 on third down. Incomplete. Intended for McCarron's.
I like this strategy because what they're doing is the Patriots want to blitz, and the Titans are saying, if you want to blitz, we're going to get a big one on you, because if we pick it up, there's a big one there. They picked it up, and again, they have one-on-one deep. That's exactly what you're looking for.
They've been alternating Justin McCarron's and Drew Bennett on the other side from Mason. With Dyson gone for the year, those 2 guys are going to have to take them through January if they want to get through January. Fair catch called for after the Hendrick punt by Brown at the 11-yard line. 5 minutes into the third quarter in Nashville. McNair and the Titans up by 7.
Are you ready for some football?
Good one next week. To Florida we go. Pittsburgh Steelers, Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday night. Saturday, ESPN, Philadelphia at Dallas. Patriots now begin from the 11-yard line. Early third quarter. New England marching down the field quickly on their first drive. And that's in the air and deflected and intercepted. Intercepted by Rich Cody, who takes it back for the touchdown. Off the hands of David Patton, and the backup back Cody, the backup safety, takes it home.
Yeah, the Titans are playing with 6 defensive backs here. And you see Cody is just a safety. He's just a free safety sitting back there reading everything. The ball bounces up, and he's in perfect position to run it in. What the Patriots were doing, we were trying to bring in the extra receivers. They went empty backfield. They had them all spread out. So the Titans come in with their 6 defensive backs, and the 6th defensive back picked it off.
21-7 after the extra point. Cody, former Ram, 4th year in the league, 2nd pick, 1st TD. 21-7. Damon Wayans, Wednesday night. My wife and kids here on ABC. And that's followed by the George Lopez Show, ABC Wednesday. 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central and Mountain. Tennessee leading 21-7 after the Cody interception off the deflection. And Joe Nedney to send it to the 5-yard line. Kevin Fulk. Flag comes in to the 33.
I tell you, there's been some hitting in this game. You know, when you think about it on offense and defense, but there's been some very, very crisp hitting on special teams. That's once again, we see that how the Patriots are spreading out here. See, they have 5 receivers. So what the Titans do, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive backs. These are the 2 safeties. So they can press them up front so they can't throw the short one. Then if they go deep, they have the 2 safeties sitting there. Or if there's a deflection, they have the safeties sitting there. And that's how Rich Cody got the interception and the touchdown.
1st and 10, Bill Belichick, after watching his team climb to within 7 and get the ball back. Now they're back by 14. And they begin out of the gun with Brady from the 20-yard line. Tripped up, taken down, and the sack will be credited to Kevin Carter. He's the first guy to hit him, and then Robert Smith finishes him off.
You see that step that we see from Steve McNair, that step and that power, Tom Brady just didn't have it. Kevin Carter got there, and Brady can't step out of that thing. You see, Kevin Carter come to the inside, and just with that one hand switching out there, he knocks Tom Brady down.
Half a sack for each. Brady, first time he's been sacked in 2.5 games. And that is jarred loose. It's incomplete. Keith Bullock whacking David Gibbons.
Yeah, we talk about Bullock being a good linebacker, and that's what he's good at. We said he's good against the run, but also dropping back in pass defense. I mean, he has a feel, and when he feels or sees something, there is going to be a collision. Watch him. Once he sees that ball come in there in that slant, that's Bullock's area, and he is going to take it away right there. Whew.
Gibbons heard a truck coming at him. 3rd and 11. Four-man rush. Brady throws caught over the middle, and what a pop put on Brown. Well shy of the first down at the 26-yard line by Lance Schulters, who came over from the 49ers.
You know, you just feed off things like that. Don't you get the idea that Bullock kind of starts it, and then right after that, here comes Lance Schulters, and he's going to say, well, if you can do it, I'll show you what I can do. You know, you get a boom, boom.
Double.
Trouble.
Walter. Short punt. Sideways bounce. Flag down. Back at the 32. Against Tennessee.
During the kick, holding number 55 of the return team. A 10-yard penalty. First down.
After the ball was in the air, Tennessee has it. 8:43 left in the 3rd. Coverage from above being provided tonight by Budweiser. Peek into the Coliseum, Nashville. 2-touchdown lead for the Titans, who have the ball beginning this drive from the 21. Eddie George. Well, are you ready for some football? And of course, when the night began, who else but our man, Hank Williams Jr. I mean, who would have ever believed, are you ready for some football would become like a national mantra?
Well, it's been a long, sweet, wonderful ride, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And we're still here, Al.
Yeah. This is like a busman's holiday here. Two bus riders.
Oh, yeah, we've spent some time in buses. No, the Titans, this is, they were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and this is a showcase game for them.
Big game for them, sure, as they try to stay on top in their division. Take a big step toward postseason. McNair on 2nd down and 10. Oh. Life good, Hank?
Life couldn't be better.
Great.
We stay around here. We have some very loyal, hardcore fans out there. We tour a little. We go to Montana, and we go down to Daddy's area in Alabama, and we have a lot of friends, on the teams. Some guys with the Giants, some guys up with the Packers, and I have nothing to complain about. Standing here with you guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
When you tour now, do you tour on a bus or do you fly and then?
I don't do the bus.
No, you don't do.
I don't do the bus. I do
when
the
did
jet.
you get out of that?
Well, I only rode them 30 years.
Then how do you get out of it?
Well, you just quit. You say, I want to be there quicker.
3rd and 10. And that pass is caught by Derek Mason. And that's a first down up at the 33-yard line.
That's a heck of a throw. The test of arm strength a lot of times is that out. You think it's the up and it's a deep one, but it's really this out. If you can, they always say to test a quarterback, can he throw that pass? If he can throw that pass, he can play in this league. I think Steve McNair can do about anything, don't you?
No, isn't that the truth? He's very special.
He's so strong.
Oh, he's a tough, strong guy.
On the 33-yard line, it's McNair. Back to the ground, Holcomb. Yeah. He's been a nice little addition.
Well, I brought I'm sure you're not thinking of changing careers, Coach, but here's a hat since you're here in Music City, and some nice suspenders for you.
Oh,
I know you'll treasure these,
I thought this was a seatbelt, Hank.
No. you could use it. We can all get on the bus and go touring sometime.
Oh, Henry, you're bearing gifts. I love it.
All right. You ready for the Opry?
What do you think, partner? John, he can't get the mic back on. 2nd and 8. And McNair gets wrapped up and taken down for the sack back at the 28-yard line in the arms of Mike Vrabel.
I either need a little more headset or a little less hat, Hank.
Yeah, I know. Well, they told me. They said, well, you can't wear your hat out there. You got to wear a ball cap. I say, I'll wear a ball cap. They're not going to know me from Adam.
They know you, and if they don't know you, they hear that voice, they know you.
It's been a wonderful night, I'll tell you.
Pretty cool tonight. Be out on the field and ask them live. Are you ready for some football?
Yeah, and we've been around here for a while, Al, and it's just wonderful to be right here in Nashville.
Yep. 3rd down and 15 now. From the 28-yard line is McNair. Throws, caught 33. Little move there, but not enough for a first down. Robert Holcomb. Hank, it's always great to see you, man.
All right.
Years and years. Hope this goes on forever.
Yeah, it's great. Good to see you, Coach.
Hank, it's great to have you here. And ask that question. Are you ready for some football? And this team has been, and these fans have been tonight.
Yeah. It's a special night for the town and the team. I'll see you on the road.
You bet. Hank Williams Jr. here in Nashville as Tennessee gets ready to punt. Troy Brown back to take Hendrick's kick. 20 to go in the 3rd. Good high kick. Brown at the 16-yard line trying to get some blocks. Can't. Good coverage taken down at the 19 with 5:08 to go. Justin McCarron makes the tackle. We're always ready on Monday night. 21-7 Tennessee. Little Radio City at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, Rocket action.
Yeah. Southern Rockets. And this is Antoine Smith busting one through the middle out to the 43-yard line to begin this drive with under 5 minutes left in the third. A 23-yard rush.
I'm sure the Patriots are thinking we have to do two things. We have to change the momentum. We have to change the pace. And somewhere we're going to have to get a little running game going this second half.
1st and 10. They try to get the running game going here with Smith again. That right side of the New England line has been changed with Damian Wooding now at guard. And more on that as we go to Melissa.
Well, the Patriots offensive line is getting hit hard with injuries tonight. Guard Joe Andruzzi, who came into the game with an injured knee, re-injured it. His return is questionable. And tackle Kenyatta Jones injured his right leg, but he is expected to return.
So Adrian Clem goes to tackle. Ray Rugemer is the center, with Woody playing guard. And that was off the umpire's head. Off the head of Brian Balliot, the umpire.
We had to have a heck of a shot of that somewhere, because on his head is his hat, and there's an umpire camera on top of that hat. So we ought to see the ball come out right here, and the ball ought to go. Ooh, that's the old Brady cross.
Like you've heard of virtual reality, that's reality. Umpire can only wish that was virtual.
Ooh. It would look like if you were going to catch that thing.
3rd and 11. And that's incomplete. No flag intended for Donald Hayes, who gets covered by Andre Dyson.
Yeah, this onslaught that the Patriots are trying to change the pace to get things going. The Titans defense, after that first drive in the third quarter, the Titans defense has adjusted to it very well.
So after Brian Balliet, the umpire gives us a little bit of an up-close and personal look. And a big gain by Antoine Smith gets a first down. 3 more plays and the punt by Walter. Short kick. Makes a decent bounce for the Pats. And then dies on the painted grass at the 19-yard line.
Hi, I'm Captain Chuck Woods on the General Jackson. Mr. Madden, you ever get tired of riding your coach, you can come ride with us in style.
First, we'd have to have a race.
I just want to know if they have blackjack on that boat.
Although, you know, as you go across the country, you cross the Mississippi more than anything. I mean, the Mississippi must be, I would say, what, 10 or 12 states?
Well, starts in Minnesota, comes out, I'd have to think about it. I'd say about 10 offhand.
Yeah, I mean,
is that Louisiana?
We're crossing Mississippi here. We're crossing, I'd say, I thought we already did that.
1st and 10. That's Derek Mason. That boat rolling down the Cumberland River.
You know, we're talking about McNair and not practicing and the ribs and how tough he is. This is a shot of him in the pre-game. He came out early and to see it, and you can just see how that action of throwing the ball, how much pain he has. Then you wonder, how can a guy be that slow, that early, and then everything happens so quickly once he gets in the game? Part of it is adrenaline. The other part is medicine.
2nd and 1. Eddie George. And the Titans moved here from Houston following the 96 season. They actually played on the banks of the Mississippi that first year because they started out in Memphis. They played 1 season at the Liberty Bowl. Then they came over here. And until this place was built, they spent 1 season playing at Vanderbilt. And they came into this place in 1999.
Jeff Fisher, you know, with the Houston Oilers, with the Titans, with all those moves, has really done a great job. I mean, you know, his teams, I mean, they've been real good, they've been pretty good, and they've been kind of average, but they've always been tough.
Took them to the Super Bowl after the 99 season. Lost, came up 1 yard shy at the end of sending the game into overtime. And you know, you look at Jeff Fisher, he's 45 years old. Close. I'll get it in a second for you exactly, but as Hopkins is down for the moment. But he is now second in tenure to Bill Cowher.
Right, there's 2 players down. Hopkins is the fine left tackle.
And he got tangled up with a Patriot. We're trying to identify him.
Here's Hopkins right here in the left-handed stance, the second guy in. And you can see he just starts blocking back and getting pushed back. And usually those things happen after the play is over. And when they're standing around a pile. Here's Hopkins right here. See, the pile was away from where the ball goes.
Bobby Hamilton is up, so the Patriot player is okay. But Hopkins, who was a Houston Oiler, he was their #1 pick back in the early 90s. In his 10th year from Illinois, and a guy who every year is on some people's All-Pro team.
He's a very good player. Remember when they had, Hopkins and Bruce Matthews? Right there, you can just see Hamilton's head hits Hopkins in the right knee. That's where it happens. It is right there. And there's so many injuries like that. I mean, you always assume that a guy is making a block or he's making a tackle, and the play is over, the play is away from you, and something like that happens where a guy just rolls up on you or falls into you.
Jeff Fisher comes out to take a look, and this would be a very significant loss next week. The Steelers are now 8-5-1. Tommy Maddox back and healthy. Jerome Bettis will be in action as he heads down to meet the Bucks. John Gruden, Warren Sapp, 11 wins, 3 losses, have clinched the playoff spot. Still looking to win the NFC South. Titans had been, as we mentioned earlier, very injury-free along the offensive front until tonight. They started the same 5 guys until tonight when Pillar got hurt and Ackerman had to come in for him. And now you're looking at Hopkins in a situation where, we're not going to guess as to what will happen to him next week. But the Titans in a dogfight, as are all of these teams in the AFC. 2 more games left at Jacksonville next week and at Houston, but at least able to come off under his own power.
And you always like to see that. There's Zach Pillar. He was the starting left guard who was injured last week and not active tonight. So in the last 2 weeks, they got the left side of that Titan line.
Jason Matthews will come in for him.
As you say, that's always a good sign when you see a Brad Hopkins walk off on his own.
2nd and 12 now from the 30-yard line. And Eddie George over the right side to the 45 and a first down.
You feel that Eddie George, again, he only averages 3.3 yards per carry, but he's one of those guys that has always been a tough guy. He's always gotten tough yards. And don't you just get the feeling that as the game goes on, you start off with a good double team there, a good kick out there, and he just hits that crease. But as the game goes on, Eddie George gets stronger and better.
Tonight, 21 carries and 74 yards for him. 20 left in the third. Pass blitz. George able to get through into the secondary. Ridden down. Close to the first down marker by Otis Smith.
This is one of the things that you like to do is get a team, back on their heels. Have the quarterback. They're worried about their quarterback, and then just let your offensive line. You always want to be aggressive, and you want to be tough, and you want to be physical. But to be physical for offensive linemen, you have to run the ball.
And Otis Smith got hurt on the tackle.
A lot of coaches will say, we want to be physical, we want a physical game. And then they'll come out and they'll pass 15 times in a row, and it's hard for your offensive linemen to be physical. You're going to see Otis Smith there. He plays that straight arm well. That's one of the things that the Patriots have been concentrating on is how you play the straight arm.
Eddie George, the Heisman Trophy winner in 95, has now exceeded Jim Brown in number of carries. And he's been a workhorse. He's done it, when you compare the two, in 8 fewer games than did Brown, who, of course, would be the embodiment of the durable back.
And sometimes you just have to wonder how many carries does one body have in it.
Right.
And you'll see Otis Smith here. I think he has his arm in there, and he just rolls over on his shoulder. See, it looked like he caught that left arm in underneath there, and as he rolled over, it went right on his shoulder.
He gets up, back to the bench he goes. Leonard Myers is in place of Myers. At right corner, first down now, under a minute to play in the third. First down of the 44. The workhorse to the 40. Check in with Melissa.
Al, you've been talking about Eddie George and his decline in production. Well, he writes off the decline in production last year to the toe, the ankle, and the shoulder injury. This season, he is the first to admit that he's not having a Pro Bowl year, but he has a couple of reasons why. Number one, the slow start of the Titans. They started the season 1-4, didn't run the ball as much. And since then, number two, there's been a change in offensive philosophy. They have spread it out a lot more. But when you ask Eddie if he'll ever see another 1,500-yard season out of him, he says without question.
Eddie George, I don't doubt him. 21-7 at the end of 3. Tennessee leading New England. And Monday Night Football resumes from Nashville after this from our ABC stations. Back in Nashville, Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark. Fourth quarter begins. ESPN Sports Center follows the game. And right here at the Coliseum, it's a 14-point lead for the Tennessee Titans, who begin the fourth quarter. Second down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Giving it to Eddie George. Plows forward. 24 carries tonight. 94 yards for E.G. Time of possession, well, sometimes it doesn't tell the story. Tonight it certainly does.
Well, it does, and then you're going to say, why didn't the Patriots do this? Why didn't they do that? Because they didn't have the ball. And, they've had the turnover, and they haven't been able to get anything going. And the Titans have had a lot to do with that. I mean, they've been very, very solid on both offense and defense.
From the 35 on 3rd and 1. And, big stop here as George is stopped at the 35-yard line. 58 plays have been run by the Titans tonight, and only 36 by New England.
And I think Jeff Fisher's going to go for this one. This is when it's probably too long for a field goal.
Right.
You don't want to have to punt it here. Even if they do take it over, if you don't make it, they still get the ball on the 35-yard line. I think this is a good call. But again, I think you probably have to call on Steve McNair to do it one more time.
That wouldn't surprise anybody right now. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns tonight. Will he bull forward? No, he's going to give it to Eddie George, and Eddie is very close.
They probably had enough of Steve McNair in that first half and felt that they'd taken enough chances with him and his ribs and so on.
He has the first.
That's always a great feeling when you're a coach and you make that call and that happens.
Melissa?
Al?
Yes. Freddie told me to throw it to you. There's Hopkins on the cart. We'll get Melissa's report on Hopkins in a second as Eddie George is stopped near the line of scrimmage. Melissa, anything new on Hopkins at this point?
We need serious help.
Well, Melissa's mic is out. That's why everything is okay. It's cool. It's not an emergency call. Emergency audio. Sprained knee for Hopkins, and he's going in for x-rays. It's sprained knee is the report. 2nd down and 9 now from the 33-yard line. Caught for a first down by Mason, who got position on Ty Law and gets forced back, but forward progress gets him the first.
Boy, that's one thing that McNair has really thrown well this second half is that out, and we said that's the pass that you have to be able to throw, and he's been able to throw this with velocity. It's even from the hash mark, and you see him turn, get those hips turned, and put that zip on the ball to Derek Mason right in front of Ty Law. I mean, that is a perfect positioned pass.
13-yard gain, ball at the 20. McNair. Eddie George, the intended receiver, and Ted Johnson going out, floating out with him for the coverage. We were talking about Jeff Fisher before. John, 44 is his age right now, 2nd in tenure. He was the defensive coordinator one year with the Rams in L.A. in '91. I'll never forget John Shaw, the president of the team. They were going to make a change with John Robinson out at that point. And Shaw wanted to hire Fisher. He wanted him to be the guy, but John said, I can't go to Georgia Frontier, the owner of the team, and tell her I want a head coach who's 33 years old.
And then you knew that he was going to be a head coach. I remember John Robinson coached him at USC and told me what a bright guy this guy was, and that he was going to be a coach someday. And he worked for John, and he did all those things. And then he's really a disciple of Buddy Ryan. And we were talking to Bill Belichick, and you're talking about how you attack a defense, and you kind of look at the history of the defense. And he said this Titan defense is Buddy Ryan's defense.
And through the years, he's kept it and he's refined it. He left the Rams. He went to San Francisco for a couple of years. Then he goes to Houston under Pardee, and then they have a terrible season in '94. And Pardee gets fired, and they make him the interim coach. And then Bud Adams says, "You're my man," and he's been his man since.
It was a heck of a decision by Bud Adams. Bud Adams was one of the original AFL owners.
Yeah. Bud, we understand, not feeling particularly well tonight, so normally comes to the games, watching on television, I'm sure. You think about the original AFL, and you have two original franchises tonight.
71 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
You know, what's amazing is that's Miller. That's 42 years ago, 1960. Yeah. You still have 3 of the original 8 owners: Lamar Hunt, Ralph Wilson, Bud Adams.
Bud Adams, yeah. And they started, and everyone thought that they were crazy, and how can you do that? And of course they endured, and the league endured, and merged with the NFL, and here we are today, and a lot of us are very grateful to those guys.
3rd and 15. What a night for Holcomb. What a role player he is, and he's been great on special teams too.
He's having fun. It really is fun when you can get a team like the Titans have the Patriots right now, and you can just let that offensive line tee off on them, and you can just get them going backwards and just run the ball downhill on them. I mean, you do it with Eddie George, and you bring in Robert Holcomb, and you just finish off runs like this. I mean, they have them beaten. I mean, the Titans have beaten the Patriots down now. I mean, they're the ones that are delivering the blows. They're delivering the blows on defense. They're delivering the blows on offense.
A little short of the first, and now Nedney will try to make it a 3-possession lead, which he does. With a field goal to put them up by 17, 9:22 left in the fourth. 24-7 Tennessee.
I wanna dance with you, twirl you all around the floor. That's what they intended dancing for. I just wanna dance with you.
Alan Jackson looking on here in Music City as the Tennessee Titans try to take a step closer to postseason, maybe even home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So nothing will be determined tonight. Kevin Falk to the 27th. And with 9:13 remaining. A little post-Thanksgiving treat. Just a plain old turkey. No duck, no chicken. Bogus turkey. Christmas Day NBA doubleheader. Jason Kidd and the Nets against the Celtics. Game 1, Game 2. Kings, Lakers, Sacramento and Los Angeles. Christmas Day, the NBA. Right here on ABC.
What did Shaq call the Kings?
He called them the Queens.
No.
That was before the season started. The Sacramento Queens.
Can't do that.
Not calling them the Queens. The Lakers have their own problems right now. Unless they can fall behind by, $500,000 to Dallas.
Yeah, but you still have to believe that in the end that they're going to be there. I mean, when you have Kobe and Shaq, I don't know how they get in there, but if they get in there, they're still the Lakers.
They're still the Lakers. Probably get in there, but it's going to be rough getting home court in any series this year. And Brady gets taken down from behind by Carlos Hall. Good-looking rookie out of Arkansas.
One of the things that the Titans have done all night against Tom Brady is take away his lanes. Here's what he's looking for. Usually you get these ends up the field. And then what you do is with your free hitter there, like the guard, you try and pin his tackles on the lane. Then you have that lane to throw in or run and throw in. Tom Brady this year has been excellent at doing that, but the Titans tonight have taken it away. You see that lane? He had a little lane to the left, and it was taken away. There was no place for him to go to throw the ball.
3rd and 10. See if he has some room this time. Against a 4-man rush. He slings it away, but he slings it into the arms of a Titan. It is picked off by Peter Sermon. And that's what the Patriots are going to need pretty soon. A Sermon.
Because they got knocked back on their heels early in this game, and they haven't been able to get back up in their toes. Watch as he's leading Troy Brown in there. Troy Brown doesn't go in there.
Patriots have challenged as we went to commercial. Got a look at it up on the board here, and it's close enough. And in fact, looking at it during the commercial, I think they're going to overturn the interception. Watch the ball. He gets his hands there, but the ball's going to hit the ground as he brings it into his chest. So I think this is one, John, that they're going to overturn.
You can see right there as the ball hits into his hands, it also bounces into his hand. So the ball did hit the ground. The other thing you see on that shot is Donald Mitchell really holds Troy Brown. So that's why he didn't get in there.
New England challenged the ruling on the field. The ball touched the ground before the receiver gained possession. Pass is incomplete. 4th down and 10. Please reset the game clock to 9:02.
So it's 4th and 10 at the 27. New England is still in the game, but they have to punt with less than 9 minutes to play.
Yeah, they don't want to give the Titans the ball down here. I mean, they have to say, okay, we'll punt the ball away and then play good defense, try and get a turnover, get the ball back, get a quick score, those kinds of things. I don't think they want to go for a 4th and long in this field position.
Not at this point, but they're still down by 3 possessions. Walters' wobbly short kick. He's down by New England at the 43-yard line with 8:51. Tomorrow, take a break with all new episodes of Life with Bonnie and Less Than Perfect. That's tomorrow right here on the American Broadcasting Company. Nashville on this Monday night as the Tennessee Titans take over at the 43, averaging 5.6 yards per carry and 223 yards rushing tonight for these guys. We'll add to that here, Eddie George. 4-yard thrust.
I think that had to be a big part of their game plan, was that Bill Belichick is one of those defensive coaches that uses a lot of different defenses, from 5 to 6 to 7 defensive backs, exotic blitzes and everything. And I think that Jeff Fisher and his offensive group figured, well, let's just run at some of that stuff. And they've been very successful, not only running with their running backs, but, of course, in the first half, running with their quarterback, Steve McNair.
2nd and 7, Eddie George with 99 yards. One more. He's into triple figures. Will it come here?
Ringo!
Yep. 33rd time. Well, hold on. Flag. But when he does get the 100 tonight, it'll be the 33rd time in his 110-game career. He's going to have to wait, though. This one's coming back.
You know what it's nice to see is a referee wearing glasses.
Number 75 offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
I used to always say that when I was coaching. You know, that, I mean, if you just take the percentage of, men that wear glasses at a certain age, why don't any officials wear glasses? And they never did.
Yeah, I think you got them by bringing that up a few years ago. You got them to wear glasses.
I remember, I did bring that up a few years ago, but I remember the late George Allen at a coaches meeting asked if they gave the officials eye tests. And at one time, they didn't test their eyes.
Eddie George. It'll still be pretty odd, though, because a guy's either going to wear contact lenses or these days they'll get LASIK surgery. But not Ron, Lyon, and Winter.
Yeah, and those are some strong ones. Did you take a look through them, man? I mean, those things have some power in them, man. You couldn't miss anything with those glasses. But it is good to see them. I mean, you admit, and there may be some, like you said, that have the surgery and some that have contacts. But I tell you, an umpire better not wear contacts, because you have that umpire cam and that ball that Brady threw.
Yeah. Wow.
That would knock all your contacts and a lot of other stuff out of you.
Winter looks like a college professor, which indeed he is in real life. Swung over the middle, caught by Mason. In a passel of defenders, he comes out of it and gets the first down, 20 yards.
And that's the confidence that Steve McNair has in Derek Mason to throw into that passel. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that wouldn't throw into something like that, but that has to be confidence you have in your arm and confidence you have in your receiver.
They got a flag at the end of the play.
Illegal contact. Number 24 defense.
Play stands.
Penalties declined. Play results in a first down.
Kaloa.
We talk about a lot of players that you don't hear about. We talked about McNair maybe not getting the credit that he deserves, but I'll tell you, this guy that catches a ball, this Derek Mason, is one of the better receivers in football also.
20 yards on a 3rd and 17. Kill shot. No. Off the fingertips of Justin McCairns.
Oh, and that's the second one he had McCairns on. And they're going to blitz, and they're going to get the big one. McCarron's dropped one earlier right in his hand, and this one was a perfect throw. I mean, it's easy to say you have to catch this, but you have to catch this one. I mean, that's the thing. Now, just run right through it. I mean, that's a perfect throw.
Right there.
Yep. That's why they pay you those big bucks. I mean, you wait for that, and I know what Steve McNair's, thinking. You wait to get a post without a safety in there, and you get a couple of them, and you don't hit them.
And that would have clearly written the finish. And then you got Mason jumping.
I don't know if you'd call that jumping what Derek Mason just did.
Ball start. 85 offense.
I think that had to be
Remain second down.
I think that had to be a country move. Mason started to move, and he knew that he couldn't move forward, so he just kind of did a twist. Or whatever you would call this. Here he is right here. Watch the move that he makes. He goes in a fetal position.
It's a peppermint twist.
And then puts his head down to say, oh, wouldn't have been doing that.
Holcomb with a good run for him. All is not lost for New England, of course, as we mentioned at the top. Nobody was going to clinch tonight. Nobody would have been out of contention tonight. This will do pretty serious damage to their hopes to be a home team throughout the playoffs, but they can still win the division.
Yeah, this has been happening all night. Benji Olsen and Fred Miller getting a double team there and getting big-time movement, and that's why a lot of these holes have been over there on that right side tonight.
3rd down and 5 from the 39-yard line. Holcomb again gets stopped by McGinnis. If New England beats the Jets at home next week, and McGinnis is going to take a timeout since New England will get it back, they can still win the division by beating Miami on closing day. They would win the tiebreaker if they win that game. Looking ahead, February, Dragnet. The Badgers back. Dragnet on ABC in February. Well, the Patriots going to break talking about they can still win the division, beat the Jets no matter what Miami does next week, and then beat Miami in Foxborough on the final Sunday. A Hendricks kick takes a great Tennessee bounce because they're going to down it inside the 10. Flag down.
I'd be concerned. I mean, I would know that they could win their next two and, and control their destiny and so on. But you have to be playing well, too. I mean, sure. I've always believed that you have to be peaking as you go into the end of the season. And I don't feel watching the Patriots tonight that they're near peaking.
Neither can Bill Belichick, the 50-year-old coach of the Super Bowl champions, as they'll kick again. We were talking to Bill last night.
Illegal motion. All 11 players did not come to a full stop before the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
They referred to Bill through the years as a gym rat, but he's a coach. I mean, he's the embodiment of a coach because he's been coaching for 28 years in the NFL. So that means he started when he was 22 as an assistant with Ted Marchibroad in Baltimore. We talked to him last night. When's the last time you cashed a check apart from coaching? He worked for the Mayflower van lines when he was in high school.
And it took him a long time to think. And he thought and so finally he said Mayflower.
Mayflower. I said, you didn't work after that? Eccentric kicks. And that one will be downed. But after it goes into the end zone. So he said, I did have a job. He said, I was a waiter, but, we just got the tips. So he never filed a 1099 or a W-2. And I feel free to say that right now because I believe the statute of limitations has expired. Very casually in the end zone. Wednesday, Barbara Walters on hand for her annual 10 Most Fascinating People of the Year show. And she will reveal that Will Farmer on Wednesday.
There's some fascination right there. I wonder for a night game, what time they put this stuff on. And like, I think I'll go and wear my red hair tonight and my blue hair. They put it on like at 3 o'clock?
Oh, they have to go to makeup at least by 3. Brady throws over the middle to Brown. He's up to the 32. New England will have to now go without a huddle with 5 minutes to play.
They kind of started the second half going without a huddle, I think, to kind of change the pace of the game, and it worked for a little while. And now it's in the area of urgency.
30 more plays have the Titans run tonight. Well, the big plays tonight as Brown makes the catch was Buckley with the interception, but then the fumble, which gave the Titans repossession of the ball, and they scored in that drive before the half. Injured Titan here is Albert Hainsworth. And the other big play, of course, was Cody's interception after it was 14-7, and the Pats got the ball back, and the number 1 draft choice is arriving right now. As we take a look at the game recap, early on it was McNair with his beautiful run through the middle to make it 7-zip, and then at the end of the half on 4th down and inches, and then Brady said, well, if he can do it, so can I, 14-7. But then here was that Cody interception off the hands of Patton. That made the score 21-7. Nedney has added a field goal, and it's 24-7 right now. So Hainsworth is the guy who's down working on the hamstring, and the man who we touched on it before, was it going to ascend to a starting role tonight. Henry Ford, in his 9th year, has been a starter, and this was kind of a coming-out party tonight for Hainsworth, and apparently it's a little bit premature because Mr. Ford's going to probably see a little bit more action than he might have thought over the next 2 weeks.
You know, it looked like Hainsworth just fell down. I mean, he looked like he was going back to the line of scrimmage. Watch him. He's right here, and he just goes down. I mean, it looks like he grabs his hamstring, but it wasn't during the play. It was, I thought he should be lining up. Then he started to walk backwards and just went down.
Hopefully just a cramp as he comes wobbling off. They stayed in state for their number 1 pick. Played his college football in Knoxville.
Most guys that weigh 320 pounds will wobble as they come off if they get a hamstring or a cramp. There's a guy that had a big night. Fred Miller. You know, we were talking about how he and Benji Olsen were double teaming over there on that right side, and a lot of those creases or holes were made by Fred Miller.
2nd and 1 now. Swinging out to Falk. Bullock is there, and Bullock knocks him down just about the spot he has to get to for a first down.
You know, you just have to love the way Javon Curse plays. I mean, you always use that word motor, 100%, or this guy has a motor, or that guy has a motor. He's one that is just fun to watch because he does have a motor.
3rd down and 1, and this is Falk as they try to move the chains, and he can't.
Well, now in this situation here, if they don't get it, obviously they have to go for it on 4th.
Well, they're going to measure anyway, but it looks from here as if they're a little bit short. Who knows? I'm just guessing.
Did they reach the yellow line?
I don't know. Got to put that yellow line down right here. How about that? See, that's what LASIK surgery will do for you, John.
You saw it all the way down that line? Huh? You're an amazing man.
Incredible. On painted grass, too.
Well, the one thing that impressed me is you put your hand over your right eye and you just looked at it with your left eye. That's kind of like, what do they call that when you putt? What do they call that, bob? Plumb bobbing?
Plumb bob, yeah.
Plumb bob, yeah. You kind of plumb bob that.
Yep.
Very, very impressive.
Actually, I just flipped a quarter.
This has to be a quarterback sneak. empty backfield. You can't do anything else.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't think he got it. The ball came loose, too. He didn't get to it.
Well, the yellow line is not official, but we'll show it with the yellow line in there. And
not even close.
No, he went backwards. That's the umpire. This is what it looks like from his position.
No,
dive in and get the ball. Oops.
They can measure all they want. They lost a half a yard on the play.
One of the things Bill Belichick says is that they know that Tennessee is going to be physical, and they have to come out and take that away from them and be as physical or more physical, and they really weren't.
Yep, Mr. Fisher's going to win the battle tonight. Two defensive coaches, two guys with great reputations as defensive coaches, and Jeff's team will prevail, and they'll prevail to the extent they can bring in Neil O'Donnell to mop it up tonight and give McNair the rest of the night off.
And probably the rest of the week off. I mean, probably the next time that Steve McNair will take a snap or throw a ball will be next Sunday.
3:17. Only mystery in the game. Will George get his 100? Yep. Inside the 40, gets 2, and that's going to give him 101 for the night. Make it 102. They make it a 3-yard game.
I was saying just when we were talking to Steve McNair last night and just looking at that shot there of him, you know, he's so big and thick, you know, that there's, I mean, you go to tackle that body, and I just thought of Larry Zonka a week ago, and I thought tackling him is more like tackling a big old fullback like Larry Zonka than it is a quarterback.
You know, the funny thing about Eddie George is we were talking about how little statistical productivity he's had and how diminishing it's been as Mike Green carries, and yet he came off the field and we put up the numbers. His average 3.3, very pedestrian. The league average 4.2, and yet a good night for him. A real good night.
Yeah, because, you know, Steve McNair got it started. And then I think they got the lead. And then you can feed Eddie George the ball. And then you can take him out, you can put Holcomb in, and you can feed him the ball.
Yep.
Because your offensive line has control of the game because the score is 24-7.
2-minute warning, and the Titans about ready to make it 8 wins in their last 9 games. Tom Brady held in check tonight, 14-29 for 134 yards.
Isn't it funny just looking at pictures and what winning does? I mean, you just look at winners' pictures. Everyone's talking. Everyone has a smile on their face. And then you look at the other side and everyone's down. I mean, the heads are down. And when you lose, it kind of takes a lot out of you. I mean, it kind of deflates and, you know, takes some air and some energy and some life. And when you lose a football game, you lose a lot more than just that game.
Body language says it all. 3rd down and 5 now here from the 26 of Holcomb in the backfield. And O'Donnell gives it to Holcomb, and he'll get stopped there. And New England with a couple of timeouts to use, but not using it. Now, with Tennessee going to 9-5, the Colts are also 9-5. The Titans have a better division record, but the big thing is the Titans have beaten the Colts twice. So they own the tiebreak. The Colts play the Giants in Indy and then the Jaguars in Indy. Tennessee goes on the road at Jacksonville, at Houston. So even though the Colts have 2 home games, you know, to finish at Houston is not bad for Tennessee. Won't get it, and now New England will get the ball back.
But Tennessee has now won 8 out of 9 games, and I think whoever they play, they have to go and play like they did tonight.
All right, John, you're going to name your top performers tomorrow. Preview the best games of the week. NFL.com also has stuff for you.
Well, the horse trailer's waiting out there for someone, too. Jeff Fisher, he felt, we talked about how confident the Patriots were, and I really did feel coming into this game that the Patriots were a very confident team, but watching the Titans, they were confident too.
Very. Rohan Davey, a rookie out of LSU, is going to finish this game. Damon Ewers, the backup quarterback, are going to give Davey some action, and that pass is incomplete. Yeah, there it is. Well, Ricky Williams last week. And there's the collection with Donovan McNair and the guys from Tampa and Ray Lewis, Brett Favre, of course. Then the night in Seattle with the 3 Niners and Bobby Ingram, Tommy Maddox. And down the list we go. And, of course, what would a horse trailer be without Jerry Rice? And tonight? A duel, John?
I don't know. I vote for Steve McNair.
Yeah. Well, what were Freddie and Drew trying to tell us?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they have votes too.
Well, vote for? Again, we're going to go to Catherine Harris for the answer here. And what do you think, Freddie? It's our call. Malibu, what do you think? Malibu, Kelly Hayes has been watching. He likes Steve McNair. Well, we'll go with Steve.
I like Steve McNair, so there's 2, and then you make it 3, so Steve McNair.
Steve's the guy.
Gets a ride on our horse trailer from here to Tampa.
Yep.
From Tampa to St. Louis. Eventually, the horse trailer is going to end up in San Diego this year.
Yep. This is Daniel Graham making the catch.
But, there are points in a game when you have to make plays to win that game. And I feel that in those points, Steve McNair was the guy that made the play.
He did, as he has over the last couple of months. Their only loss during this stretch of 9 games, 1 point to the Ravens on November the 24th in a game in which the Titans outgained Baltimore 2-1. 9-5 for the Titans as they win 24-7. Horse trailer heads to Tampa, and Steve McNair, the new adornment. There's his smiling face, and Stevie's in the middle of the field with Melissa Stark. Melissa?
Well, Al, Steve McNair set the tone for the whole night. And, Steve, so much talk going into this game about the Patriots defense and all the challenges that it presents, but you dominated them. How did you do it?
Well, I think, they do so much on defense. Like I said earlier in the week, we had to do what we do best, and that's just try to get the running game started, make plays when we have to. It wasn't pretty, but we got to win. I had to use my legs a little bit more than I anticipated tonight, but, I do whatever it takes.
Steve McNair and the word injury mentioned so many times in the same sentence, but you always play through the pain. How do you do it?
I love the game. I'm a competitor, and my team believe in me, and I just go out there and get 100% every rep, and I just suffer the consequences later.
You started out 1-4. You've now won 8 of 9. How have you guys been able to do it?
I think, we came together as a team, and, we had to use accountability. Everybody had to look in the mirror and accept the fact that we was 1-4, and we had to improve some kind of way. And, everybody stepped up to the plate on our 3 phases.
You don't get a lot of the recognition. You think after your play tonight, people will start talking about you?
Well, like I said, that's okay if I do. If I don't, I'm still going to play the game and play it hard as I can.
Good luck down the stretch.
Thank you.
All right, well, the Titans' next 2 opponents, Jacksonville and Houston, both have losing records out.
And the Titans right now, Melissa, still haven't clinched a playoff spot, but are still in the running for that number 1 seed in the AFC. 24-7, the Titans win it. Next week, Tampa. The Buccaneers hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. Now your late local news follows. Those of you on the West Coast, a special edition of Monk. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Melissa Stark saying good night from the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee.